Hi, welcome back to English 111 Online. This week we're going to start Essay 3, which is going to be based on your reading of The Other Wes Moore. There's a short video to watch this week, and it will tell you, in the words of Wes Moore himself, why he decided to write this book and the question that he had at the very beginning, and the question for your essay also. Why did one of the Wes Moores end up being a very successful person, a Rhodes Scholar, a successful military career, an inspirational speaker and author? And why did the other Wes Moore end up in prison for the rest of his life? And so that is the question for Essay 3. You're going to pick one Wes Moore, it doesn't matter which one, the author Wes Moore or the other Wes Moore, and you're going to read and note as you read how one ended up in one place and one ended up in another place. They had very similar beginnings, but you will see that they had very different destinations. So try to read at least the first 6 chapters for this essay. I believe that you can do the essay all right with the first 6 chapters, but if you could read 8 chapters, it would be even better. This week, I would like for you to view my weekly video, which is what you're doing. Click the link to answer the question about any challenges that you had for Essay 2. I just would like to get some feedback from you for that. It's right here under this week's resources, just that live link there for Essay 2 challenges. So you have 20 characters to type in your answer for that. You can type in as many answers as you'd like. But I'm just interested in getting your feedback about any kind of challenges that you had for Essay 2. I believe this essay will be easier for you, and it may even be more enjoyable for you. It's a very good book. It's very entertaining. Nash Community College chose this as our Nash Reads book for this year. And so this is the second semester that I have used it with classes. Everybody seems to enjoy it and seems to get a lot out of it. It's a pretty quick read, so don't look at it as, oh gosh, all this stuff to read, because I think it'll read very quickly. And I'd like for you to understand how the book is set up so that at the beginning of each part, there are 3 parts to the book, and I'm suggesting that you at least read the first 2 parts. There's information about the author Wes Moore meeting with the other Wes Moore at the prison, and they have this conversation. And then there are chapters following that. And the way the chapters are divided, part of it is the author Wes Moore telling about his situation at the particular year that each chapter is marked with. And then he tells the story of the other Wes Moore. So once you understand how the book is set up, I think it'll make a lot more sense for you as you're reading. Now, not only do I want you to read, I want you to mark passages or jot down passages that you believe has to do with the cause for why one Wes Moore ended up in one place and the other Wes Moore ended up in the other place. The evidence from the book is going to be what you bring into your essay to back up what you have to say about what you feel are the causes that led to one's success and the other's ultimate path to prison. So that is an important thing for you to do. Keep marking those places, jotting down those ideas as you read, because I believe it'll be easier to do that. The other thing this week is one graded assignment. The graded assignment is to complete the journal assignment. The journal assignment is here under graded assignment. It's asking for you to complete your thesis statement and some of the main points or ideas for your cause and effect essay. So in other words, your thesis statement should reveal what some of the causes are. Your thesis statement needs to identify which Westmore you're following, and it needs to point out some of the causes. So this is preliminary. This is your pre-writing for this essay. Next week, you'll start to put together a rough draft of this, and you may change your mind about the causes or the thesis statement once you get to next week. But for now, this is what you need to focus on for a grade for this week. There is a cause and effect slide presentation for you to view from Chapter 13 in Real Writing. If you don't have time to read Chapter 13, the slideshow hits the main points, and so that's why I put it on here for you, to save you some time. Then there's the trailer for The Other Westmore, and then, and I really think that's vital that you watch that. I think that it will give you some head start on your thinking about what are some of the causes and what are some of the effects of those causes. And then there is the link for the cause and effect essay. Remember, you have to be signed into your NASH online or your NASH student account in order to access that document. Let's take a look at that document for just a moment. Here it is. This one is the primary source for the essay is going to be The Other Westmore, and then you're to bring in 2 other sources that add value to this essay. I'm going to talk about that with you next week, so please don't worry about those other 2 sources right now. This will be just something that will back up what you've already had to say. It's not anything like we did last time where you had to do the research in order to write the essay. This time you're going to write the essay, and then you're going to find some information to add value to your essay. But don't even think about it or worry about it this week. Just get your evidence from the book to back up what you're saying. This essay should be 4+ pages. Don't panic at that. By the time you set up the essay in the way that I'm going to ask you to do, you'll have 4+ pages, I'm sure. But you're looking for at least 3 causes that led the author Westmore to success or the other Westmore to a lifetime in prison. And so as you read, collect that evidence and begin thinking about what 3 causes are. You can have more than 3 causes if you want to, but at least 3 causes for this. Here's the instructions for this essay. The Other Westmore, the author Westmore says this about the book. This is the story of 2 boys living in Baltimore with similar histories and an identical name, Westmore. One of us is free and has experienced things he never even knew to dream about as a kid. The other will spend every day until his death behind bars for an armed robbery that left a police officer and father of 5 dead. The chilling truth is that this story could have been mine. The tragedy is that my story could have been his. And so there is a quotation from the book that will get you started thinking about the kinds of quotations you want to bring from the book into your essay. The assignment is to choose either the author Westmore or the other Westmore and discover why he ended up where he did. In order to do this, you will need to develop a thesis statement that explains what you consider to be the most critical elements in the road chosen. Then you will bring in evidence from the book to back up your thesis statement. You will also bring in 2 more sources that add value in some way to the points you are making in your body paragraphs. Again, do not focus on that this week. Just get your evidence from the book. What do you have to say about their life choices and how they got to where they got to? There are a lot of things that in the book that the author states about life choices, and so here are some things that you will see that you might want to consider. But go ahead and just look down the list. I'm not going to read all this to you. And then your pre-writing is to pay attention as you read, to the passages that will be good evidence for either why either of the Westmores made choices that they made to end up where they ended up. Keep the quotations in a dialectical journal, or I said provided. I'm not actually providing you with that, but a dialectical journal is just like 2 columns on a page, and you put your quotation on one side, and then you put why it's important and what it has to say about the cause of their success or failure on the other column. You certainly can make up a 2-column chart for yourself to do that. Quotations will be your evidence from the book that you use to make your thesis statement point. So the thesis statement for this essay, let me scroll down for that. Identify which Westmore you're writing about. You can call them the author Westmore or the other Westmore. That's just a simple way of doing it. If you have a different way of calling them, identifying them, you can do that. But pick one, and then make a statement about this person's end result, giving the specifics of your reasons. In other words, what your causes are. For example, the author Westmore ended up in a good place in his life because of his choices concerning his education, his family, and his personal responsibility. That's just a sample. You certainly don't have to use that. You may want to write about the other Westmore. A lot of students prefer writing about the other Westmore than the author Westmore. But that's the homework for this week. That's read it. Note the parts that are important that give you the causes of the success or failure, and then when you're finished with doing all of that, come down here to the graded assignment bar. Right underneath it, there's a journal for you to write your thesis statement, some main points that you want to cover, and one piece of evidence from the essay that backs up or illustrates one of those causes from your thesis statement. So, main thing is read, take notes, and get ready to write the actual essay next week. See you then.